I want to go back to your little Avatar watching. Are you skipping the first one?
So I have seen the first Avatar movie maybe three or four times in my entire life. What, that came out in like 2009?
10.
If I'm not 10? Was it really?
Somewhere there, because I remember watching it.
2009. 2009. I'm going to December 18th, 2009. Holy
that
hell.
would make sense. Then home video, it would have been 2010, which is when I watched it in my forensic science class in high school.
A lot of forensic science in that movie, for sure.
Yeah, nobody's really talking about it, but they were at the forefront of forensic technology.
James Cameron's all about it. That's all he keeps talking about with this. I love that Wikipedia is so bold as to say that Avatar 5 is coming out in 2031.
I saw, what's like the fake hot ones called, where it's just like the two actors from the movie do it, like interview each other without the hot ones guy, but they have the wings and they have the sauce.
I don't know what it's called, but I remember. I can see it in my head. They're like in a white room.
Yes, like a box, like trapped in.
Yeah.
There's Zoe Saldana, and then who's the lead? Who's the male lead of Avatar?
Sam Worthington.
Yes.
I found it.
It's the two of them, and Zoe Saldana like reads the card, and it's like, we've been married on screen for decades, and I'm like, what? Like, the thought of how long Avatar has existed is nuts to me.
That's what's 16 years?
Yeah.
Is it? Is that right? Okay.
Yes.
I was doing very, very fast math in my head, and I'm not that great at it, but I found the video. I was right. It is like this dystopian white sterile background. It looks like the place in the Matrix, like right before like the gun racks fly in.
I don't know if I can recall that moment in the Matrix. I hate to say it. Yeah.
Okay. That's a blind spot for you. I get it. But
it's like
holy
cube
hell.
In the cube, you know?
The Cube?
Yeah, you don't know Cube?
Oh, the movie Cube?
Yeah, Cube. It's like the cube of Cube.
The 1997 film?
Yeah, the banger.
I haven't seen it, admittedly.
I mean,
come on.
It's a bunch of people stuck in a cube that then connects to other cubes, and then there's like things that could kill them in the cubes.
And there's Cube 2, and then there was Cube Squared, I believe, right?
Cube cubed, maybe, because Cube Squared would be 2.
Oh, sorry. There's Cube 1997. There's Cube 2, semicolon Hypercube, and then there's Cube 0, presumably in space or in the Antarctic. I don't know. And then a Japanese remake, also called Cube, was released in 2021.
I gotta seek that out. I'm sure that's probably a banger. Look, they had $5 and a dream on that original Cube. I do think that I remember reading that it was like they only had built like essentially 2 cubes, so that they just had to like keep shooting them going into a different door. So it's like for low budget filmmaking, and I have such a soft spot for like strangers locked in a room together and they don't know why they're there and they have to get out somehow.
Yeah.
A great film.
It was 350,000 Canadian dollars, which translates roughly to 254,000 US dollars. So like, yeah, I mean that's so low budget. That's for nothing. Sure.
Yeah. Especially in the 90s too.
And they made $9 million.
What?
Yeah. According to Wikipedia, if Wiki's to be believed.
Go Cube. I'm proud of them.
Go. I'm going to have to go revisit that. Holy shit.
That's nuts. That's a huge profit margin.
Dude, all this Cube talk, and we haven't even fully introduced ourselves here on this podcast. So what do you say we put the Cube down for a second? All the fear, the paranoia, the suspicion, and the desperation, as from the poster here I'm looking at. And say hello to everybody. Welcome to our little movie podcast. My name is Nick. This is
my name is Tina.
I didn't know if I should have teed you up or if you wanted to just jump in there, but Yeah, we're just two friends that like movies, and this is our little podcast. It's called I Think You'll Hate This, but I think you might like this if you like movies. So why don't you join us for a little bit, and we'll talk movies. Let's get started. We talked about Avatar lightly at the very top. So like I said, I'd seen Avatar, the first one, 3 or 4 times. I rewatched the first one before Way of Water. That's like 3 years ago now, which that time dilation for me is really, really throwing me off. Cause like, it feels like just last year or even 2 years ago, we were talking about Avatar, Way of Water at the Oscars, but no, that was, a little bit longer than that, maybe a third year, I guess. So rewatching Way of Water today, I decided to skip over the first one because I get it. I know what it is. The one that I don't have the most reflection on is Way of Water. Obviously, a lot of time has passed since Avatar and then Way of Water. So like technological leaps, enjoying the sort of majesty of the look of it. I started it this morning. I got like 25 minutes into it and got deeply distracted by something. And so I have to pick it up later tonight after this podcast. I want to rewatch it because I'm seeing Fire and Ash on Thursday. We'll probably have some sort of quick review of that in a later episode. I know, Tina, I think you're going to make an effort to see it once at least for discussion, maybe?
Maximum one. We're not going back.
I would love for you to come back and be like, I don't know what they did in this one, but I liked it.
Okay, I am a little, this is a safe space. I am a little concerned about that because I think the Fire Lady sounds really cool in the trailers.
Yeah. Yeah. It does nothing for me. None of the trailers have ever done anything for me. So maybe this will be the turning of the tides. Maybe I'll end up, because I don't have a real strong feeling one way or the other about Avatar. Like, if James Cameron wants to do this until he dies, like, fine. I really don't care.
I don't know about that.
You want him to do other things?
No, but I think the money that is going toward it, I think could be better served for other things, because I can't imagine they made it on the Cube's budget. You know what I'm saying?
Sure, but if anything, even as recent as this week tells us, Disney is very good at just throwing money around and it not mattering whatsoever, like the $1 billion agreement they made with OpenAI. So,
yeah, which is already seemingly backfiring against them, but
good.
You know what?
And it's your mission, it's your God-given right to push back on Disney, show them the most abhorrent, awful shit as possible with their Disney characters doing things. I saw a Buzz, Woody, and Jesse 9/11 video in AI, and I re-quote tweeted it or whatever, and I tagged Disney, and I said, take a look. It's nuts.
Wait.
Woody pushes Jesse towards the plane, and then she dies, and then Buzz and Woody turn to each other and kiss. And then the plane hits them too.
So they're on the tower.
They're
in
inside
the tower.
A building. Yeah.
Okay.
Presumably.
Okay. I didn't know if they were the hijackers. I didn't know where we were starting with.
No. We could make them the hijackers,
I didn't know Buzz
though.
was the plane. It could have been literally anything.
And you know what? We can now, thankfully, thanks to this amazing arrangement. So
yeah, who said creativity is dead?
Not me. Not me. And Disney certainly doesn't think so. So
oh my goodness.
I'm going to revisit Way of Water because I have an interesting relationship with it as well. I have AMC A-List. And I was going to say last year, but it was 3 years ago when the first Way of Water came out for its first release. I booked a ticket for it, canceled it, booked another ticket for it, canceled it. I did that like 4 times, never ended up seeing it in theaters just because like I couldn't commit. I was like, I don't want to go sit for 3 hours and 15 minutes and watch this movie. I just don't want to do that.
I'm a better Avatar fan than you?
Because you saw it in theaters?
I saw it in 3D.
Yeah. I guess you are, because I saw the first one in IMAX 3D when I was young, the first one, and then Avatar: Way of Water came out. I booked, canceled, booked, canceled, booked, canceled. Never got around to it. It went digital. I bought it on digital. Never watched it. Bought it physically, and then finally watched it, and I thought it was fine.
Oh my god, it's not worth working that hard for.
No, it isn't. And I gave it far too much money. I probably gave it like 55, $60 for buying it on premium video on demand digital purchase as well as the 4K release.
You know
So
what?
yeah, I
Support
probably
physical
spent.
media.
That's true. So I need to rewatch it before Fire and Ash. It just feels timely. I know that like if this movie wasn't coming out this week, I wouldn't be rewatching this movie. But so it's like it's almost like every Halloween you watch this, every Christmas you watch this. It's like a new Avatar movie's coming out. I'll catch up on the latest one, sort of just re-immerse myself in this. But what I wanted to talk about with Avatar before we get to our main topics for today is an interesting tidbit that came out. So this is a huge event film for Disney. It's going to make cuckoo banana bucks. And I think that it's insured itself is going to make a lot more money than what maybe people were early predicting for a number of reasons. One, the Odyssey prologue for Christopher Nolan's new movie is going to play in front of it.
Oh,
it's
I
about
forgot.
6 minutes long. So it's a 6-minute sequence, probably going to show a lot of different highlights. They've done this a lot for Nolan films in the past. Apparently, the untitled Steven Spielberg film, which might be called Disclosure, based on all the billboards that are showing up around New York and other places. That's supposed to have a trailer attached to this. And then heavy rumors, it's all but confirmed now, Doomsday, Avengers Doomsday is going to have a trailer before this. But the interesting thing about this is that apparently there's 4 different trailers for Avengers Doomsday. And the word on the street is that they're going to put a new one out each week. So for 4 weeks, starting this upcoming week, there'll be trailer 1, and then the next week, trailer 2, and then the next week, trailer 3, and then rounding it out, trailer 4 on the 4th week. This is a great way for Disney to basically ensure they get repeat viewers, because there are going to be the people that want to go and check out that trailer. And even if they don't stay for Avatar for the 3rd or 4th viewing, the money is there. And they already basically guaranteed that they have a captive audience for 4 weeks.
How many people realistically do you think are going to do that and not just wait for it to come online or like a bootleg person? Don't film in movie theaters, but
We should say that.
like,
Yep. So,
but how many people realistically do you think are going to show up 4 weeks in a row?
I mean, I am in a lot of film circles and discords with people that when Way of the Water came out, and just people I follow like on Twitter and stuff that saw that movie like 4 times. I kid you not. And then when the re-release came out for Avatar Way of the Water this year, like a month or 2 ago, people were already like booking tickets for that. And those screenings were like selling out at my local AMC. There is something in the water, quite literally, with Avatar that I don't understand it. Like, you can knock on somebody's door and be like, are you going to go see the new Avatar, like in a neighborhood or whatever? And they'd probably be like, oh, yeah. I would bet you. I don't know.
Go knock on your neighbor's door and see what they say.
Are you going to go see Avatar?
I only went for Way of Water because it was a press screening.
Okay.
And I wasn't going to go otherwise. But I don't know. I'm also not in the Avengers Kool-Aid world like that. I'm not in the Nolan world. So the thought of multiple, I'm trying to think of what
everybody that's first getting introduced to you, Tina, as a person and as like a film fan is like, interesting. So she doesn't like Nolan. She doesn't like Marvel, which in fairness to you, Marvel has completely like lost its way over the past several years. So I totally understand. Like, even if you didn't care for it beforehand, like there's a lot of people like me that are super into Marvel movies that I'm pretty apprehensive about Doomsday, but I'm willing to give it a shot because I think it's just so damn weird and ballsy that they're going this route. So, but I totally get it.
I'm just trying to think of like what movie that I've seen multiple times. So the one that I can remember, Lean on Pete.
The Charlie Plummer A24 joint? Yeah, I never saw it, but I wanted to see it. Was it good?
I saw it by myself one night. Emotionally ruined me so much that I had to like go to a grocery store and like walk around for a while and just like decompress. And then my girlfriend at the time was busy that first night, and that's why I went alone. And then the next night I was like, you want to see Lean on P? So I saw it 2 nights in a row. But I think that is probably the most I've seen something in a theater and back to back like that. Who knows?
I saw Last Jedi, I think 4 or 5 times in theaters when it came out.
I'm so glad we agree on Last Jedi. I'm shocked. I had a feeling that we would not.
I love it.
Same. I cried. I loved it so much. But even then, I only saw it one time because, like, I like Star Wars. I'm just alienating everybody. I like Star Wars, but I don't love it.
I have definitely fallen away as of late. Much like with what's happened with Marvel is just that I think Disney got way too big for its britches and greenlit so many different projects that they scaled by volume, but they lost in quality by like a metric ton. So
you are someone who cares about Avengers. Sell me on Doomsday. Why is this going to be a turning of the tides? Why is this worth 4 trailers?
Well, I don't know. I don't necessarily know why it necessitates 4 trailers. I think what's going to end up happening, if this is true, I know it's definitely going to have a trailer. I don't know if they're going to do the 4 thing, but like that's what I've been hearing. I would imagine that if they do that, the first trailer won't premiere online until the next week. So if you don't go opening weekend of Avatar: Fire and Ash, the following Thursday, Friday, or whatever, you'll be able to see that teaser for Doomsday online, and then so on and so forth. So they're going to try to like kind of space it out so that you can't like just wait around. Like you'll be missing out on the conversation for about a week, every week over as they roll this out. I don't know. I think each of the trailers I saw that someone posted like a time code from like somebody that was like programming at like an AMC that got like sent all the like trailers and the sort of DCPs. But I think that they're like a minute 25 each. So like very, very short. Why I'm interested in this. That
feels long for this early. For this early, that feels like a decent length of a teaser.
Right. And Doomsday was initially supposed to come out next May, and then they punted it to December.
Oh, so 2026 December.
Yes, instead of May. And I believe they're done filming. Obviously, they're probably going to do pickup shoots like the next couple months or whatever. But yeah. So this is going to come out. The next Marvel film we have is Spider-Man Brand New Day, I believe is what it's called. That comes out July. And then it's Doomsday. So why I'm curious and interested is, real quickly, bringing back Robert Downey Jr., I'm very mixed on that idea. It felt, when they announced it, it felt very desperate, where it's like we killed off.
Is he Iron Man again?
He's Doom.
Oh, like Dr. Doom? I literally know nothing.
Okay, great. So we'll do a quick recap for you. So Endgame, he died. He snapped his fingers. Everything was great because he had the Infinity Gauntlet. Everyone disappeared. He sacrificed. Endgame, but... Oh, great. So he's dead, Tina.
Okay.
And that was like, you know, for fans of the franchise, it's like, dude, we've been with this series for like 10 years or whatever, 15 years, like over 30 movies or whatever. And like Iron Man and the throws and the ups and downs, like this felt like a fitting finale to that character, to these stories, yada, yada.
Right.
And so once these other movies started to come out, your Thunderbolts, your Shang-Chi's, which I think Shang-Chi, I think that came out after. I'm not even going to try to like connect the dots on this. We don't have time for that. He's dead. And we're all like, so what's going to happen next? They're like, oh, we're going to do Avengers Kang Dynasty, Jonathan Majors. And then that whole thing kind of fell apart.
I remember hearing about this.
Disney and Marvel are probably justifiably like, shit, we're losing our audience. Like the box office isn't like, these aren't certified bangers anymore. Like we got to do something. Well, let's bring Doom. Doom is like a huge Marvel villain and it will bring people into the theater. But like, who are we going to cast for it? And it's Robert Downey Jr. And that to me it felt cheap because it's like, you're going to sell the movie a lot on his name and him coming back. I think that like if you had somebody else like Michael Shannon or some shit, I think he would be great in just about everything. But if he had him as Doom, like you don't put his name on the front of the marquee and get a lot of families to show up. You'll get people like me, but like Robert Downey Jr., like he carries with him a lot of that stuff. So especially after you killed him in Endgame, it just felt like, well, here we go. Let's try this now. And it's like, it just reeks of desperation to me. So I've heard rumors and I don't want to get into it here. We'll have plenty of time for that discussion later on, but like where the film will allegedly pick up off of Endgame and it's going to maybe potentially like retcon some things and yada, yada. But it's basically going to build to Secret Wars, which, if you don't know, Tina, Secret Wars is where like Doom basically like grabs all of like the variants of different superheroes and makes them like fight each other on Battle World to be like the only one left.
Sorry, there's a place called Battle World?
Yeah.
That feels a little, Avatar-y for me.
And then
unobtainium.
And then he becomes like God Emperor Doom, and like Doctor Strange is his like right-hand man, and Sue Storm is like with him, and it's just this whole thing. I don't know. I also am admittedly not like super in the weeds of the comics, so I don't speak with authority on this. So like if people are gonna like yelp in the comments, like please just like feel free to correct me. I really don't care. But
I feel like before Doomsday, we're gonna need like a crash course episode, because I saw Thunderbolts because I love Florence Pugh.
Same,
but that's it.
Yeah,
and that's all I retain from it.
Yeah, I think it would actually be very, very fun if like you went into Doomsday like pretty cold, or as cold as like we do an episode where I try to like catch you up to speed and then we just throw you in and then you just kind of take it or leave it.
What's the one before Infinity War? Wait.
You're right.
I haven't seen either of them. Where they
Infinity
split
War,
it into two and then Endgame?
So, yeah, Infinity War is first and then it's Endgame after that.
Yeah, I haven't seen either one of them.
Okay. And, they announced Doomsday and Secret Wars as the one that comes after Doomsday. But I have a suspicion that after Doomsday, Secret Wars is going to be Secret Wars Part 1 and Secret Wars Part 2. Because the Russo brothers do this thing where they like they posted an Instagram photo and it says like look closer, and there's like people like deciphering if there's like hidden like things in the background, and somebody pointed out that there's like 3 highlighted A's, and the last time they did this they basically hid the hint that there's going to be 2 Avengers movies. So people are speculating that there's going to be the Secret Wars is going to be split into 2 different movies. So I don't know.
Maybe they just need somebody to call a AAA for them, and nobody did.
That's true. That's true. They're stuck in the soundstage. But to put a pin in the whole Avatar Doomsday thing, to me, I'm curious about this because from my POV, this feels like this needs to be a hit for Disney and for Marvel. Like if this doesn't perform, I think it's bad news for them. Like, and I think that they know that. So because they just it's not making the money like it used to. Spider-Man's probably gonna make a ton of money because it's Spider-Man, but like I think a lot's riding on this and they need to get it right. So I will be watching with great interest, like Emperor Palpatine once said. Or I guess he was Chancellor Palpatine at the moment. It was at the end of Phantom Menace. Yep, he's talking to Anakin. We'll watch your career with great interest.
Shall we dive into the most wonderful time of year?
Yes, it is time. It's time for awards season. It's a time for film festivals from Cannes and all that stuff. Those movies are starting to make their way out to theaters. I actually got a notification on my AMC app, Tina, and I'm jealous of you. They're like, oh yeah, you can get your tickets for No Other Choice now. And I went and clicked on it. The soonest it's available near me is January 15th.
Oh no.
A whole month out.
That's so sad.
It is very sad.
I was thinking about doing that or Alpha tonight. I'll be honest.
Wow, just rub it in, why don't you? So awards season.
Yes, 'tis the season. 'Tis the most wonderful time of year. I think between the two of us, I feel like we've probably covered most of the big hitters that are getting nominated this year, with No Other Choice being, I feel like, the thing that we have not, neither of us have caught yet. And then obviously Marty Supreme.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking on the Golden Globes for right now. We can touch on the critics and the Film Independent Spirit Awards, but I think we should probably start with Golden Globes just because it is the latest. And I think, I don't know, for my money, as much as it is just like an opportunity for these celebrities to kind of get together and get drunk and just kind of like celebrate one another, I feel like it's a nice precursor to the Oscars in terms of like, it's like the pre-Oscar party, in my opinion. But
yeah, it definitely kicks things off, but I feel like they don't always tend to line up. I feel like so Golden Globes, I have not looked at. I'm looking at it cold right now. So let's see.
Let's start from the top there. Best motion picture drama: Frankenstein, Hamnet, It Was Just an Accident, Sentimental Value, Sinners, and The Secret Agent. Where do you want to go?
I mean, so Sentimental Value I watched yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
What a movie.
It's great.
What an absolute, like, it's something. And I was talking to my friend about this, about how I feel like, how do you pronounce her name, the lead actress?
Oh, I'm going to butcher it. I think it's Renata Ransby.
Okay, Renata, like, her performance, I feel like, is getting a little overlooked by something like If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You, and Rose Byrne's performance. Mm-hmm. And even Jessie Buckley, who's like more, as much as I love Jessie Buckley, it's like very much a more outward performance. But I feel like what Renata does in Sentimental Value is absolutely devastating in a way that I was not prepared for, but it blew me away.
I was a big fan of it as well. I don't remember too much of my feelings on The Worst Person in the World from the same director, but I really enjoyed this one. And I saw your Letterboxd review as well about what was it?
Is the piano teacher and Irreversible.
And Irreversible.
Irreversible.
I clocked Irreversible, and that's on my Letterboxd, where I was just like, dude, that is like dastardly. How dare you?
How is the craziest thing to gift a child?
It's so funny. I don't know about, did you watch it at home or did you see it in theaters?
Mm-hmm. I watched it at home.
Okay, I saw it in theaters, and there was like maybe, it was like 6 of us in there, but like there was 2 other people in the theater that also like were like, oh, like as soon as like he pulled it out, like we all had that reaction of like, what a movie. Holy hell.
So which one, aside from Sentimental Value, what's another one that, have you seen It Was Just an Accident?
I have. I liked it. I liked it a great deal. That ending, yeah.
That ending just haunts you.
I don't like to. It's kind of like the M. Night Shyamalan of it all, where I was just like, I hate when people are like, oh, this movie's great, and you get ready for the twist. It's like, well, now I know that I'm on the lookout for a twist. I feel the same way kind of like when people are like, oh, but the ending. Because then the whole time you're watching it, you're waiting for like that moment to hit you. And if it doesn't hit you, you're like, well, what is everyone talking about? So like, I'm kind of like laissez-faire in terms of how I try to discuss things like that. But in terms of like how I felt about the ending, it's one of those things. I don't know if you feel this when you watch a movie where you're like, dude, if you just ended it right here, it's like, boom, perfect. And that was one of those things where like, as it was happening, I'm like, end it. And then it ended. And I was like, yes, perfect.
Well, I think I don't think if you haven't seen it yet and you're thinking about it, I don't think that you should look at the ending as like a massive twist or like a massive, like insane moment of filmmaking, because it's nothing like that. It's just like you're watching this movie and you're thinking, how on earth is this going to end? Because it's a comedy, but it's also like a really heavy thing about like war crimes and people who live through torture and all of this stuff. But then it's also so funny, and so you're just like, how on earth is this going to end? And I think what the film, like why everyone talks about the ending, is because it just is a bow on top of a really great movie. Like it ends in such a nice, neat,
it's natural
fashion. That's right. And it still opens up the path for discussion. It still opens up like means for you to want to talk more about the movie. But the movie also exists phenomenally well without that. Whereas like other movies that rely wholly on a twist, they need that in order to sustain their existence. But It Was Just an Accident doesn't need that ending to be a great, great film. It just has a great ending too.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I was like constantly engaged by it. The performances were all fantastic. I've never seen anything from this director before. So, and it won the Palme d'Or. So like, I'm always, gonna kind of perk up my ears and be on the lookout for what this movie could be, year over year. So I think definitely deserving. And I expect it to have a pretty big presence, hopefully, come the Oscars, at least in terms of its recognition from like a best director as well as best picture. I think it, maybe probably a best original screenplay, perhaps too, maybe.
I think we're going to be in a year of Oscars where a lot of international films are going to get some cross nominations, as opposed to previous years where international films just show up in best foreign, whatever they call it now. I think they changed it. But I think with the way that people are talking about sentimental value and it was just an accident, Secret Agent, Surat, it just seems like it's permeated in a way that I don't feel like it has before these foreign films, which, and no other choice too. I think it's very, dare I say, hopeful that people are watching films with subtitles.
Yeah, I mean, I think the first one that comes to mind that really kind of penetrated that market was Parasite. I think Parasite really broke boundaries in terms of like, this isn't just like for like film fans or like art snobs. Like there is like not only excellent craftsmanship here, but there's like a great compelling story here that like you could recommend to just about anyone. And like, as long as you can get over that barrier of like reading subtitles, which honestly, in a lot of respects, like I feel like most people now with like Netflix and streaming services typically tend to just have subtitles on by default, even if they're not really reading it. So it's like, just take the extra step and like engage your brain slightly more to watch these movies. Cause there are so many incredible foreign language films that your eyes would be open if you would just actually take the step. Looking at a couple of these other ones, best motion picture musical comedy. We got Blue Moon, Begonia, Marty Supreme, No Other Choice, Nouvelle Vague, and One Battle After Another. This feels normal.
It feels crazy.
It feels normal to me, but like I say it feels normal, but like the category itself, I think is just silly. Like I've always found the notion of a best motion picture musical comedy to be funny, especially when like there's no clear, like not to say that I think it deserves it, but like where's Wicked? That's a musical. Like put it in there.
Where's Naked Gun?
Where's Naked Gun?
If we're talking that's right. I think this category I like in theory because movies like The Naked Gun are not going to get nominated at the Oscars for any sort of like best picture or anything like that. But the Golden Globes have specifically created something that is for the art of comedy. And it is crazy that we don't have The Naked Gun in here, which blew my, like I went in the lowest of expectations. Same. I'll be honest, that trailer, I hated that trailer. No disrespect to whoever cut it together or anything like that, but it just got on my nerves that whole summer. And then I went and I saw it and I loved it. I had such a blast. But to me, that is like the perfect example of a movie that should be in this category. And even though Wicked had a more tepid response this year, it's still a musical.
It's still a musical.
I think that should give it something.
This feels just like, oh, we didn't have enough space in our best motion picture drama, so we're going to go ahead and put No Other Choice in there and Marty Supreme, which no doubt, I'm sure, even based on the trailer for both of those movies, there's probably going to be some glimmers of levity and like really like, oh, that was actually a genuinely funny bit or a line. Like just in the same way that I know we don't agree on One Battle After Another, I wouldn't call that a comedy by any measure. There are funny moments in it for sure, but like, no. So like I look at this category and then I look at it in comparison to the one above it, like even Sinners, like you could put Sinners in musical comedy before I would even put it necessarily in drama, frankly.
I mean, you think about those musical sequences in Sinners and it's just staggering. Like the work that they put in for the dream sequence is out of control. And it's just that I think I would buy more as a musical comedy than
No Other Choice.
I mean, honestly, Nouvelle Vague, I do too. Because it is funny.
And having not seen Blue Moon, I think that's fine there. It feels like it'll lean more in the comedy area than it would musical. But like those two feel authentic to me. Begonia, sure, fine.
I get like I'm leaning toward no on Begonia because I mean, I guess Begonia. I'm fine with Begonia staying there.
It's
because it is more comedy.
And I feel like Sinners has just about as much quote unquote comedy as One Battle After Another. I just think it has more musical than it does drama or comedy. So I would put it there. But I think all these, frankly, aside from maybe again the whole Avatar, Fire and Ash, and Wicked, this is the pot we're going to be picking from when it comes to the Oscars. These are it right here. I don't see anything that's missing beyond one of those two spectacle blockbuster movies just sneaking their way in just for the tip of the cap.
I don't think Nouvelle Vague and Blue Moon will make
No,
the 10 cut,
no.
but that's not a knock. I haven't, like I said, I haven't seen Blue Moon yet, but I really was surprised by how much I liked Linklater's little ode to French New Wave.
I liked it a lot as well, as someone that has
Yeah.
no real insight into that world of cinema, let alone that movie. But I just put it on because I like Zoe Deutsch.
You've never seen Breathless?
No. I haven't. And you know what? I was like, this Jean-Luc Godard guy
This is my Marvel. Wait a minute.
This guy's a maniac. I was like, this guy's like Tommy Wiseau. He's just like, I'll do whatever I want.
Yeah, Godard is nuts. And I saw him when I went to Toronto Film Festival, like maybe 7 years ago, before he passed away fairly recently. But he was there with this movie called The Image Book.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like the most bonkers experimental movie that you could find, of just like, I don't even know how to explain it because it was just nuts. But his little Q&A and intro, it was exactly like he is in Nouvelle Vague.
Really?
He was just like, I wanted to put some clips together.
Look,
So I did.
I admire a lot of aspects of that, but it also on the flip side too, like I was right there with the cast in the film where you're just like, dude, what? Like I just showed up on set and it's like, we're already done, or it's like, we're skipping over this, or like, do you want to go again? He's like, no, it's fine. Don't worry. And it's like, no script, or it's like, I'll just make it up. And it's just like, it is the sort of frustration of like watching like The Disaster Artist and like seeing Tommy Wiseau and being like, what the hell's going on? But there is like a fun sort of like carelessness to it that I can't help but admire.
Yeah.
I just think it's like so brazenly,
it's
like
so French.
that too, for sure. Absolutely. I want to get to Best Motion Picture Animated. This one's interesting. The nominees, Arco, that's another Neon joint, which I still haven't seen. I'm sure you'll be able to dive into it in your little bundle that they sent you. Demon Slayer, I'm not even going to attempt to try to pronounce the whole of it. Elio, K-pop Demon Hunters, Little Amelie, and Zootopia 2. I have seen 3 out of the 6 of these. I love K-pop Demon Hunters. I think it's spectacular. Zootopia 2 was good, and Elio was middling. I think I am going to endeavor to see Arco and Little Amelie before the Oscars. I think this is probably a safe bet in terms of best animated motion picture for the Oscars. Jury's out on Demon Slayer, but
yeah, I think I wouldn't be surprised if Scarlet sneaks in there instead of Demon Slayer. The animated retelling of Hamlet, but Hamlet is a girl with pink hair.
Oh goodness, I did not know about this. Oh, what?
Yeah. I would not be surprised if Scarlet sneaks in there over Demon Slayer.
You said that this is something to do with Hamlet? What?
Yeah, it's Hamlet.
Just
big year for Hamlet.
I don't know if you can do that. I don't know if we can have Hamlet and Scarlet, a pseudo Hamlet story running again. But we have 2 Linklater movies, so you know what? It's a brave new world we live in. Anything's possible. I'm just rooting for K-pop Demon Hunters just because like I was late to the party on that. I think the music's a bop. I think the animation style is absolutely stunning and fun and frenetic. It has that energy of the Spider-Verse movies. It's Sony Pictures Animation. It's just instantly rewatchable for me. I think barring seeing Little Amelie and Arco, that's just where my vote would go. I know you've seen Little Amelie. I'd love to hear kind of your thoughts on it because I know you're a huge advocate for it.
I'm such a I never usually care about animated features. Normally I have no dog in this fight, but I love Little Amelie so much. I think the animation style of it is just stunning. I think that it's a really interesting story of a young girl growing up in Japan. She's French, I believe. It's been a couple months since I've seen it, but to see her process the world and the way that like societal norms and societal expectations happen all around her, but she is 2 or 3, and so she can't put into words what's happening, but she sees it and she kind of tries to vocalize it, and her voiceover is so cute. There's also a little sequence in the beginning where she's like, nothing matters. And then I tasted chocolate for the first time. And then she like levitates like a little god. It's so
That's cute.
I think it does such a really succinct job of showing the way that people are all different and the same, and the ways that we've built this society to essentially like look down on other people and like be mean to one another. But to see that all processed through a 2-year-old is very interesting. And I just think it's gorgeous.
Let's get into some of the performances of these nominations. So we'll start with a female actor in a motion picture drama. We got Ava Vector for Sorry Baby, Jennifer Lawrence, Die My Love, Jessie Buckley, Hamnet, Julia Roberts, After the Hunt, Renata Runsby for Sentimental Value, and Tessa Thompson for Hedda. Where are you at? What are you feeling? I think this is,
Well, now I'm really torn.
I would punt one of them. As like not
Jennifer Lawrence.
I was going to say Julia Roberts because I wasn't crazy about After the Hunt.
I wasn't crazy about After the Hunt, but I did like her performance in After the Hunt.
But is it any better than some of the folks listed here? And I don't think it is. Like, as much as I also didn't care for Die My Love, I think that, and I think we also maybe agree or don't agree on Jennifer Lawrence. I'm very mixed on her. I'm not like super high on her, but I'm also not like I don't downplay her ability to perform. And I think that her performance in Die My Love is very, akin to Hamnet, and that it's like very raw. It's very like, it's loud. It goes a lot of places. There's a lot of range and a lot of moments where she can really just like let loose. And I think a lot of people look at that and say, look, it's acting, and then go ahead and just like put her in a category. And like, there's a little bit more nuance to Julia Roberts' performance. So like, I understand why she's here. She won't be here for the Oscars. I don't think that's happening. I think, I definitely think Jennifer Lawrence, Jessie Buckley, and Renata Rensby are going to be there. But what do you think? Where are you at with this?
So, I mean, like, my heart and soul is with Jessie Buckley. I'm a huge fan of hers since her first movie, Beast. I loved it. It was the heyday of MoviePass, and I just saw a random movie, and it was Beast, and I was like, who is she? Because she was incredible from day one. So part of me is like, I want Jessie Buckley to just take everything, because it's taken a while for her to get like that, this many people. Like last year I would say Jessie Buckley. 2 years ago I'd be like, I love Jessie Buckley. People would be like, who? I love that she's getting this name recognition. But I think that Ava Victor is not going to get nominated for the Oscars, and so I would want her to win the Golden Globe, because I think Sorry Baby is an insane piece of filmmaking from a first-time filmmaker. And I know this is just for the performance, but the performance too is just so funny, and then also just punches you in the gut. And it's something very similar to like Renata, where it's not loud, it's not huge big acting, it's like these quiet little mannerisms and these quiet little moments where you're just like in it wholly with them. So I gotta go Ava Victor.
I would agree. I think out of this list, considering we're going to see a number of these names at the Oscar, my heart is going to be rooting for the folks that aren't going to be there. I have yet to see Hedda, so like I would maybe pick Tessa Thompson on a different day. But having seen Sorry Baby at last year's Sundance, like I haven't seen it since. I need to rewatch it. I wasn't as blown away by it, but I thought she was stellar in it. And you're absolutely right. Like, and comparing her to Renata Rensby as well, in terms of just like the quiet, reserved moments where you just kind of have to be with this character. It isn't the subtext and the subtlety of what they're feeling and how they communicate it kind of speaks louder than a lot of these more vocal and performative pieces like Jennifer Lawrence and Die My Love. So I'm going to be rooting for Eva Victor come Golden Globes night. Let's go to Best Actor in a Male Drama. This is another example of where we're not going to see some of these characters at the Oscars. Dwayne Johnson.
Well, this is crazy.
For The Smashing Machine. Your boy Jeremy Allen White for Springsteen. Joel Edgerton for Train Dreams, Michael B. Jordan, Sinners, Oscar Isaac, Frankenstein, and Wagner Moura for The Secret Agent. 2 of these movies I have not seen.
Who's your pick? Oh, what haven't you seen? Springsteen.
I haven't seen Springsteen. I haven't seen Secret Agent yet. That is one that is probably going to be like No Other Choice, where one of my theaters at some point is just going to throw it on the calendar in the middle of January, and I'm just going to have to go run to see it. I'm honestly, the right pick in my opinion is Joel Edgerton. The pick that I wouldn't be upset about, just because like he's not going to get nominated for an Oscar, and I don't even necessarily think it deserves an Oscar. But Dwayne Johnson in The Smashing Machine, I thought he was really good, and I thought there was a lot of humanity to that performance and vulnerability, and it's the most I've ever seen him express or show range in his performance, because he's kind of pigeonholed himself, breaking for that fire to go by, fire truck. Whether it's like the Fast and Furious movies or it's the Jumanji movies and stuff, he's just kind of pigeonholed him in this sort of like bumbling oaf kind of thing. And this is the first time I've seen him in something where I'm like, okay, I could see you actually evolving into potentially a dramatic actor. Granted, it's in a space that feels pretty safe and secure in terms of like boxing and wrestling and stuff. Yeah. But it was the quieter moments, the moments with Emily Blunt and him struggling with pursuing his passions and stuff, that I think was the part of his performance that really spoke to me.
I haven't seen Smashing Machine yet. It's on the list. I've kind of deprioritized that one just because, I don't know, it's hard after Iron Claw for me to feel like I want to. I mean, that's such a heavy hitter of a boxing, wrestling, whatever. They're all similar.
I'm with you there. It's all the same. Sweaty guys punching each other.
I also haven't seen sweaty guys in spandex, and it's not really my brand, but I haven't seen Secret Agent either. But I'm part of me again where I'm like, Joel Edgerton, I feel like is going to get an Oscar nomination. I feel like has a good chance of making like a big splash at the Oscars. Part of me wants to give it to Michael B. Jordan, because the 2 characters that he does in Sinners are quite different from one another. And like, I think it's always impressive when you have somebody who is playing a lead role, like 2 dual lead roles like that are different. And he does it so flawlessly between the 2 of them. And I think that this is, I don't know. I don't think he'll get nominated for the Oscar. I think that that's just like the politics of Hollywood and how I feel like they're going to overlook Sinners except for below the line sort of things, which I don't necessarily agree with. But I think that I would root for Michael B. Jordan since he's here.
I think that makes complete sense. I think the reason maybe I overlooked him was because that's the oldest movie here. I saw that back in March. I haven't revisited it. Yeah. I own it. I'm going to revisit a lot of the movies that not only I loved from 2025, but a lot of the movies that are going to be nominated for Best Picture. I'm going to do my best to try to like re-up it as we get into like the award season next month. So I think that's just one that it's just the distance from it. I just can't get myself back there.
I rewatched it this week because I was interviewing Sheehan Richards, who's the makeup designer for Sinners. So I was like, let me rewatch this again. And it really is quite impressive just from our introduction to the 2 of them when they're like standing there by the car, how different they are just in the way that they're smoking the cigarettes and the way that they like flip the lighter.
Damn.
Like they, meaning Michael B. Jordan times 2. But I think that I think it's a really strong performance, and I think that it's something that not a lot of leading men in Hollywood right now I think could pull off as well as he did.
Yeah, I think that the risk of it not being able to be pulled off greatly expands if you don't get somebody that is as talented as Michael B. Jordan working with someone that he's worked with for so long in Ryan Coogler. I think that they just know each other so well. And I mean, I don't know this to be true, but I wouldn't be surprised if like when Ryan Coogler was writing this, he wrote it with Michael B. Jordan in mind, and they probably collaborated a lot in that space. And I think that all just shows itself on screen. So I totally agree with you on that. All right. We'll get through these Oh man, we're gonna kind of sprint through some of these. Let's do this rapid fire. Best performance by female actor, musical comedy. We got Amanda Seyfried for Testament of Anne Lee, Chase Infinity for One Battle After Another, Cynthia Erivo, Wicked for Good, Emma Stone, Begonia, Rose Byrne, If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You, Kate Hudson, Sung Blue. We'll both go back and forth. We'll just pick the one that we think should win, what we want to win, and give a quick reason, and we'll move on.
Amanda Seyfried. That's my Shaker musical. Let's go.
I want to be with you so bad on that. I need to see that movie. It's not playing anywhere near me. I think the trailer looks great. I trust your opinion on it. I loved The Brutalist from last year. This is obviously Mona Fastfold and Brady Corbet working together. He helped write the script with her. And that single that they put out, I think is absolutely fantastic. So like, if that's just like just a taste of what's to come, I'm so in. Christopher Abbott's in it. That's my boy. I love him. I'm chomping at the bit to see this movie, but I haven't seen it yet. So I just, out of respect, am not going to vote on that. Musical comedy. I don't think If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You as a musical or a comedy, even though that's a great performance. That movie stressed me out and I actually really didn't enjoy watching it. And that's probably part of the movie's trick. So I'll just go with Emma Stone, Begonia. That's another movie I really want to rewatch. I own it. She's fantastic in it and it's so much fun. And it's just a great role for her to really sink her teeth into. And she gets to do a lot of fun bits in it that's just absolutely baffling. The last like 10 minutes of that movie is so freaking funny. I love it. Fun. So I would love to see her get recognized in this, even though obviously she won for Poor Things and she's been doing great since her collaboration with Yorgos in The Favorite. So moving on, best performance by male actor, musical or comedy. Ethan Hawke, Blue Moon, George Clooney, Jay Kelly, Jesse Plemons, Begonia, Lee Byung-hun, I believe, No Other Choice, Leonardo DiCaprio, One Battle After Another, and Timothée Chalamet, Marty Supreme. Go ahead, Tina.
I think I gotta give it to Jesse. I really enjoy Jesse's just the dryness with which he is able to put comedy out. I think is so difficult, and I really really respect it. And I haven't seen, like I said, Marty Supreme, but you could give it to any of the top 4 guys and I'd be happy. Ethan Hawke, George Clooney, Jesse, Lee Byung-hun, any 4 of those people and I'd be happy.
I totally agree. Obviously omitting No Other Choice, Blue Moon, and Marty Supreme, which I haven't seen. I will just, like I said, for the last category, I'm just going to omit picking them. I'm going to just pick off of what I've seen. And I'm going to go Begonia because I think Jesse Plemons is terrific. I love that he's now sort of in the Yorgos family. I want to see that kind of continue. Leonardo DiCaprio's already gotten his flowers. I didn't think that this was anything revelatory from what he's done in the past. I think it's very fine. And so, yeah, I'm just going to give it to Begonia because I just think that movie's so out there and fun and bizarre and weird. So best performance by female actor in a supporting role in any motion picture. Doesn't matter. You can be a comedy, musical, or drama. Let's go ahead and put Ariana Grande up against Sentimental Value. All right, we got Amy Madigan for Weapons, Ariana Grande for Wicked for Good, Elle Fanning for Sentimental Value, Emily Blunt for The Smashing Machine, Inga Lilias. Sorry, I'm going to just try to do that the best I can. Sentimental Value. And Tiana Taylor for One Battle After Another. Tina, who's your pick?
It's Inga, hands down. I think Inga's got, I don't think we're going to get many sweeps this year in terms of like hitting the Golden Globes, the SAG, and the Oscars. But if I had to bet on somebody, I think I'd bet on Inga.
I mean, great performance. You could almost like you could think that she might end up getting overshadowed by who she stars opposite, Renata Rensby, as her sister in the film. But I think
and Skarsgård.
There's way too, and Elle Fanning is great in it too. There's a lot of people circling the ecosystem of that movie, and they're all more than deserving. I'm gonna just go with. Actually, I think I've seen all these movies, which is fantastic. Amy Madigan, Weapons, just because like it's one of those things that's...
Who is she in Weapons?
Gladys.
Oh, sorry. I don't know what she looks like without her clown makeup.
I think that it's so awesome that a very confidently made genre film as that can get, like, I know so many people, like, as that movie premiered, were like, Amy Madigan, like, oh, we got to get her an Oscar or nominate or whatever. And I was just like, the part of me, not saying that she doesn't deserve it, it's just like the environment doesn't lend itself to accept something like that. It goes back to the whole Toni Collette of Hereditary, where it's like, that's a really great performance, but the Oscars are so against really celebrating those types of movies. I don't know if she will win. I think she'll get nominated for an Oscar. Will she win? I don't know. But I think that any wins that she can get, I think she'll get nominated for an Oscar.
For Weapons?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think this performance, we'll be talking about it for the Oscars. I think it's going to happen. I don't think she'll win. That's the thing I don't believe. I don't think she'll win. But I think she'll get recognized. She'll get a nod, and then that'll be it. And then the Oscars will be like, see, we told you. We can recognize those kinds of movies, but we won't give them any flowers or anything. But yeah, that's one of those things that I can't sell myself on in terms of like her like definitively winning, just because it just doesn't feel like it's attainable. But I would love to be wrong. So, all right, we got two more that I want to do. I want to do Best Director and then Best Male Actor before we get out of here. Best Performance by a Male Actor in a Supporting Role, Any Motion Picture. We got Adam Sandler, Jay Kelly, Benicio del Toro, One Battle After Another, Jacob Elordi, Frankenstein, Paul Mescal in Hamnet, Sean Penn, One Battle After Another, and Stellan Skarsgård for Sentimental Value. Tina, where are you at?
I think Sean Penn's going to win. I don't want that. I would either give it to Jacob or Paul. And as much as I love Benicio's performance in One Battle, I think that really feels just like he wasn't really, it didn't feel like the height of his acting abilities, you know? Whereas Jacob, I was really surprised with him in Priscilla. I thought he was great as Elvis in that. But I think the physicality of being the monster in Frankenstein, I thought was so beautifully done. I think what him and Paul do very well in both of their movies is like they're these larger than life characters that they both manage to make feel so grounded and so present in their moment. So I don't know if I could pick between the two of them, but I would be happy with Jacob or Paul.
I think where I'm sitting, it's between, I would love to see Jacob Elordi in Frankenstein. Wasn't as high on that as I wish I was, the movie writ large. Not the least of which,
but his part's
great, but also like his part is also the makeup and the way he looks, and that's another aspect that I maybe on a rewatch,
don't feel like it is.
Well, it just, for me, like it, there's just that part of it where it's just like, to me, like I look at it and I'm like, it can't feel, I don't, like my body rejects it. Like I don't like the look of it. Like that's not Frankenstein to me, but like I know it is, but it also isn't. And it's like fine. And it's an interpretation. It's authentic to Mary Shelley. Like whatever. I don't care. Just something about it. It's too much like Beastly, that movie Beastly. He looks like that guy. Have you seen that? He looks like that. And then it also looks like one of the engineers from Prometheus. It's a mix between those two things. I'll for the video, I'll put pictures up so people can see. But like,
it is crazy to pull out Beastly.
It's right though. It's true.
And I hate that you're not really wrong.
But everything you said about it is absolutely true. His whole section of that movie, I would argue, is some of the best of the movie. It's because like that part when he I can't remember his name, but he was in Game of Thrones. But when the guy, when he goes back to the barn or whatever, after he's been attacked by wolves, like that whole relationship and stuff like that with the blind man, like I really liked that a lot. And it would be great. I think it would be awesome. I think it's probably going to go between, honestly, Sean Penn or Benicio. I've just been seeing a lot of like Benicio love recently. I loved his performance. Does it deserve an award? Not really. A nod is fine. But I think Sean Penn, in terms of if I was picking between those two, Sean Penn does a lot more and paints a very broken, weird, awful character that's you can't help but like be fascinated by, but also repulsed. He was just on a whole freaking different frequency in that movie, as far as I'm concerned. I was just like, I don't know what this guy's like, an alien as far as I'm concerned. The way he's behaving is abnormal, and I think it's kind of funny, but I don't know. All right, let's round it out. Best Director. I would love to I know we're going a little over, but I do want to entertain the conversation of representation in this category. Chloe Zhao, Hamnet, Guillermo del Toro, Frankenstein, Jafar Panahi, It Was Just an Accident, Joachim Trier for Sentimental Value, Paul Thomas Anderson, One Battle After Another, and Ryan Coogler, Sinners. Tina, where do you think?
I feel like it's so hard to put Coogler up against like Trier and Zhao. Like those, I think, and Panani. I think those four are like my top sort of. Any four of those winning, I would be very happy about. But it's so difficult. Like, how do you compare Hamnet to Sinners?
I don't know. I mean, how do you compare that to Sentimental Value versus One Battle After Another? I mean, like, there's just one's a quieter, smaller movie, and one's a more sprawling, driving, expansive film like One Battle After Another, and even Sinners to that respect.
I don't feel One Battle After Another did not work for me.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I thought that the writing of the female characters was exceptionally difficult to kind of just
connect with,
to make them feel like real characters.
Okay, yeah.
That is like my main issue with One Battle After Another. And then it just kind of felt like it was trying to talk about toxic masculinity, but I don't think it was done in a way that actually worked towards something, as opposed to, I think The Master is Paul Thomas Anderson's like finest film, and something, I think everything that he had to say about toxic masculinity, he said better in The Master or There Will Be Blood. So to me, it just kind of felt like he wanted to have a little fun hijinks movie, not necessarily that it was like working towards some deeper thematic thing, which is fine. I just don't think that it should be in the same conversation that we're having about something like Hamnet or Sinners or Sentimental Value or Just an Accident. So that for me is kind of where I'm netting out of like the conception that had to go into something like Sinners is so behemoth. Whereas, and like it's created something that is like equally massive and large and had such a cultural impact. But then you have something like Chloe Zhao, where the concept had to be equally behemoth, but its output is a smaller movie. Same thing with Sentimental Value. So I'm glad I don't have to vote in these things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wonder too. I mean, honestly, if I had to narrow this down, I think it's definitely going to be between Jafar Panahi, Ryan Coogler, Paul Thomas Anderson, and Chloe Zhao. In terms of like not who's going to be nominated for like Oscars, but like where the real race is, I think it's going to be between those four. And I think in depending on the day, depending on the conversation with who you have, it's deserving of all of them. In my opinion, I think if I was going to cast my bet right now, I think it's in my opinion, it's between Paul Thomas Anderson and Ryan Coogler. Not just because of like the film craft, but just obviously the momentum behind the conversation, what the voters are thinking about at the given time. If I had to pick one right now, it's going to probably be Sinners. Honestly, it feels like this is something that like Ryan Coogler's kind of like been building up to through his career. I think. I don't think Paul Thomas Anderson's ever won Best Director for any of his movies, let alone in the Oscars, if I'm not mistaken. So I think some people are pigeonholing him for hopefully winning that so that he can get his flowers. But I think to your point about The Master, I was like, I think he's done, and I liked that movie much more than you did, but I think that this is by no means his best work, in my opinion. I think like There Will Be Blood, The Master, I have a soft spot for Inherent Vice, like Boogie Nights. Like I think he's done so much. He's got such a prolific filmography that like, to me, I would have given him his award a while ago. It's kind of like the same feeling I have with Leo in that movie, where it's like, he's really good. I wouldn't give him an award for it, but he's really good. So yeah, I think there's a lot of momentum around Sinners. I think it's had such a resurgence. It's re-released in theaters, I think twice now, I think in October, and then it's doing another run in 70 millimeter as well. So like, I either way, Warner Brothers is going home winners.
Truly, this is, and then somebody's gonna buy them,
and then they're gonna be losers. And then you get to watch the new Ryan Coogler joint on Netflix.
Only at home, only on your smallest screen.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna make it.
And you better make sure you pay enough.
On your phone.
Make sure you pay enough so that you don't have the ads that will interrupt in between pivotal moments.
What did the guy who owns Netflix say that his son's an editor and his son watched a movie on his phone and that's why he's fine with that?
I can't remember the guy's name. I see his face in my head because they always cut to him at the Golden Globes and he's like, eh.
But it's a crazy movie that he said his son watched on. I feel like it's like Lawrence of Arabia.
Yep, you're totally right. I'm not going to read that from AI. Where the hell did that happen? Okay. Oh yeah, here we go. In quotes. Both of these movies would be great for Netflix. Talking of Barbie and Oppenheimer, they definitely would have enjoyed just as big an audience on Netflix. And he continued saying, and so I don't think there's any reason to believe that certain kinds of movies do or don't work. There's no reason to believe that the movie itself is better in any size of screen for all people. My son's an editor. He's 28 years old and he watched Lawrence of Arabia on his phone.
And I watched Schindler's List on an iPad, but that doesn't mean I wanted to.
Yeah, I mean, a good recent example of that was last year's The Brutalist. I endeavored to go see it in theaters with the intermission and everything. And I frankly think that that's probably the only way that I really would have gotten a great first viewing of it personally, because of the sort of the scope of it, the sound, the intermission, the communal nature, like walking out of the intermission and like mingling with people in the lobby. Like it felt so fun and communal and so different that like I own it now on the A24 release, and I'm anxious to one day carve out an evening where I can be like, I'm going to sit down and watch this again. And I don't think that if I had watched it for the first time, like at home, that I would have had as impactful as of an experience to then want to rewatch it again.
Yeah. I mean, I watched it at home just because I was trying to get a review out, like as part of award season. I had a screener for it, but I just can't imagine how incredible the inverted shot of the Statue of Liberty would have looked on the big screen. Like I'm the opposite experience. Like I saw it at home and I want to now see it on the big screen because I want the high of seeing that inverted Statue of Liberty shot on the big screen.
That whole opening sequence is so disorienting and incredible and awe-inspiring. Like I still think about it to this day, and like I really do want to rewatch that movie soon. It's a real pleasure to watch. But that's it. I think that's where we'll end it for today. We've covered a lot of awards talk. We'll probably, between now and the first few awards nights coming up, probably retouch on some of these as the climate continues to evolve. Just to rapid fire here, we have the Critics' Choice Awards that will be taking place Sunday, January 4th. After that, we have the Golden Globes on the 11th of January, and then the Indie Spirit Awards on February 15th. And then, of course, the Oscars are going to be sometime in March, I believe. So still plenty of time for us to revisit not only the same nominees that we've talked about, but as you see No Other Choice, as I see it, and Lee, all these other things. We're going to have a lot more to talk about going into the new year. And that's it. That's our show here. So I want to first off, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. You'll be able to find our podcast wherever you get podcasts, both on Apple Podcasts. I almost said Apple Music, Spotify. We're on YouTube. We're on all the socials except X for reasons because they think that we're a child, apparently. I don't know. I never saw that, but I guess we are. I made the account. So like, did I put the year in wrong or something? I don't know. Who cares?
I don't know.
We're on Blue Sky. We're on Instagram, Facebook, even TikTok. We'll probably start to try to put out shorts and different things as we continue to get into this. But if you like what you hear, let us know. We want to talk to you guys. This is all part of the experience. Tina, anything you want to say before we get out of here?
No, thanks for listening. Then you tell us what you think, who you think should
Yeah,
win.
absolutely. We want to know. We'll probably, I don't know if you want to do this. I would love to do this. And we can kind of do like a recap afterwards. But like, especially for the Golden Globes and Oscars, we can maybe do it for the other ones. Like, let's actually do ballots, you and I. And then we can cross-reference where we got things wrong or whatever. We don't have to like go through line item by line item because we could be here forever. But like, I love gamifying it. Like, I don't know about you. I host parties and like I bring ballots for people and I'm like, we're all going to do this. And sometimes we take shots and stuff. It's a whole thing.
I print it out every year. I fill it out in 2 different colors. One is my hopes and dreams, and then the other one is my prediction.
That's very important because there's a lot where I'm like, this is what my heart wants, but this is what I think is going to happen. So weighing both of those things is always a lot of fun, and we want you guys along for the ride. So thanks for watching. We'll be back next week with another episode of I Think You'll Hate This. And until then, I'm Nick.
I'm Tina.
Go watch some movies.
Yeah.